Right, back in Cheddar again, and have a couple of horses for company watching. I've tried another pitch of the Cuben fibre Trailstar, and this is as tight as I can get it at this moment in time in a high configuration. So I've got the general shape of it, but it doesn't seem possible to me at this moment in time, if it's at all possible, to get the lengths of it, or whatever these bits here are called. I can't get these bits here tight, but to be honest, I don't really think that matters, because all the pegs are very tight. You know, there's no give on any of them. All the ridge lines I've got pretty tight. So those are the only sort of bits that I can't tighten up in this high configuration, and this is actually quite high inside. I'm on my squatting down, and that's some way above my head. Coming inside, I've put this trekking pole on the stop mark and that one on the set A mark. So I'm not quite sure how high that is, but I'm sure it's over 125 centimetres. We'll have to check that later. I've staked out a bed, where it is, there it is, for bass, which has sort of a bit of a bathtub to it, and this is by Wax. It's a little bed for bass. Again, the edges are quite high, so how much protection from rain at that height you'd get near the edges, I'm not sure. You'd probably get some splashing in, but I'm guessing at this height you probably wouldn't want to be in a heavy storm anyway. And again, I'm not sure how high I am above the ground, but that's at least a foot high, that one there. And I'm sitting in Bess's bed. That's the centre pole, and that's obviously Bess, and that's the front there. And I mean, you know, just sitting here, there's just so much room in here. It really is extraordinary. I've angled the pole that way, pacer pole, and I've staked out the inner net, and because I've got a bit of height in it, there's not a lot of slack on the inner net, so that's not too bad. And just to give sort of an idea, I've put in a Sinmat 7.5 basic. It's not blown up, so that's why it's taking up more room than it is. Once it's blown up, it is much narrower. And then around the back I've just put a sheet of polycro down. I've just thrown it down, to be honest. I've just got a couple of bags just to hold it in place. So as it's set up here, that's probably not really desperately needed. If I just try and lower the inner net. So that's the inner net lowered. And you can see, if I just back out a bit, you can now see how much room there is, because Bess is in front of her bed, then you've got her bed, then you've got my bed, and then you've got that sheet of polycro at the back, which, as I say, you wouldn't want there like that in a wind, because that's going to flap around. But it just gives you, I'm standing, this is the edge of it, just shows how large this is. So when I finish this one, I'm going to leave everything as it is inside and just lower it and see what it looks like with everything inside lowered. So I will do a part 2 in a minute. Thanks for watching. Right, someone asked me what the inside of the internet was like. So I've pitched it low under the Trailstar and I'm lying in it. My head does brush a little bit. I don't know if you saw anything there or not. Hopefully not me. But that's obviously my feet. I put the mat down to try and give some protection to stuff in here. I've pitched the Trailstar a lot lower, although I think it's a fraction higher than it was last week actually, so I still think it can come down a little bit more, and certainly where the door is and Bess's bed is, I think that could do with being probably a fraction lower there. And I got Bess right here. I still had a bit of a job to keep the shape of it. It's definitely, I think, more difficult to keep the shape of than a normal tarp. And from what I hear, the seal nylon Trailstar would be easier to pitch. But I have got it reasonably tight. Getting out of this when this is low with this pole, because this pole is right in front of me here, so actually getting out is awkward. Best go back, go on. So when this is pitched low, this is definitely, and that's obviously my hand, that is touching the material. So pitched low, there is definitely a slight lack of headroom in here, although my headroom's okay, to be honest. You know, I've got that's the top there. It's just the way the sides slope. Again, around the back, there's tons of room. back there for storing things or anything like that. And the edge of the internet is well away from the edge of the Trailstar. It's possibly a little bit nearer the edge there, because there is a little bit of height on that side to the edge of the Trailstar. And that's the door, front of the door. I'll try and get out. Go on, Bess. Go on. Come on. I don't have to be on hands and knees to get out. As you can see, I've got it, it is pretty tight. Still a very small bit of slack in these, but not a lot. The one thing I have noticed is I do think you have to have the door quite high and quite tight. I've got this is very tight. That is tight, that one. So I'm going to hope that that doesn't get damaged there. But it's sewn through this black material, so I'm presuming that that is going to be okay there. But I do have to have this very tight, and then even then there is a little loose little bit on the door. This is the one thing with the Cuben Trailstar I do have difficulty with, and that's getting all these edges tight. And I don't seem to be able to get those. I get all the ridge lines tight and all the centre guides very tight. As you can see with the way I've got Bess's bed at the moment, it's sort of pretty much almost in a direct line under there. So that would, in a storm, I think that would need moving a little bit. You can see the internet way under there on this side. And if I come around this side, you can see the internet way under that ridge, and way under there. So I don't see that water would ever easily get under there, but again, I'm no expert, so I couldn't say for sure. But and this isn't pitched right to the ground. I can just about get my phone between the grass and the pitch. So obviously this can go lower. I don't know what you're seeing with that, but it's just a bit of fun. I don't know, there you go. So that's another view. I guess another way that it could be done is with the internet pitched lengthwise, as in this way, that might work. And then I could put Bess's bed behind the pole, so that's another option there. So I think I can pitch it high, and then there is a little bit of slack on the edges, but I don't think that really matters, because if you're pitching high, the weather's going to be good anyway. And then you just have to take up any slack on the door. To me, I think the door is the point of where you take up any, or as much slack as you can from it. So the door area seems to be the slack eliminator. Change it from the high pitch to the low pitch, I did get out of the tent. I know I have heard people say that they can do it inside the sil nylon version, but I did have to adjust a couple of pegs, so how easy it would be to adjust the height of this one inside, I'm not sure. So it does seem to be, you do need to take a little bit more effort in and thought in pitching it, I think. Once it's pitched, it does seem very good. Just to give you one more quick look inside, so we can just check on the height of that centre pole, because I don't think so the outside pole, as you can see, I have to have quite high. If I lower it, then there'll be too much slack on that area there. And inside, as I say, I'm standing, there, and I've got headroom above me. It's just on the sides where it goes down quite steeply that you lose some headroom. But in the middle, and I suppose one advantage of having that pole a little bit higher, you do get headroom to actually get in and out. So I've got this pole on 8, and where it says pacer, and it's buried into the ground, so the tip is not counted, so it's the height, whatever the height is of that basket, not basket case in this case, of that basket to where it says pacer and number 8, that's the height. And I've had to put a bit of string around the top of the internet just to pull it up, and then I've rigged that up there. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Right, deja vu, we're back here again. This is now a third part. I've just pitched it even lower, and just about managed to get into the internet in the same position that it was before. But I think next week I'll try the internet lengthwise rather than running across, because it is definitely a lot tighter pitched low to get in and out. But again, there is still plenty of headroom. I'm sitting here and you can see best there, and there's plenty of room above her head. So it's just obviously the sides come in quite steep. Maybe if those end pegs were lengthened, that might not make it quite so steep inside. And obviously I was able to get out. I'll just run you around the outside again. I was able to get out on my feet, just about. I didn't need hands and feet. Again, as you can see, when it's pitched low, it really tightens up. I think for a really tight pitch, it does seem to be that it needs to be pitched quite low. But again, it's only pitched low that you're going to need it in really, really bad weather. Just trying to see if lengthening those outer pegs make a difference to a bit of headroom inside, or shoulder room really. But again, in a storm, I think you'd want this thing battened down anyway. To be honest, I really don't think you'd want this too loose. That's opened it up a lot more actually. Just by adjusting two pegs at the front, that has given quite a bit more entrance room. Probably doesn't help very much where I'm sitting because of that peg there. But as Chris Townsend said, it just shows for a tap there are so many different configurations to pitch tarps in. And you can see how it's so easy to get out of it. So that's just another idea at the moment. So this was part 3 for this week. Thanks for watching. Right, last video, promise. I just lengthened these two guys here, so I've effectively got it low at the back and higher at the front, which is actually something I wanted to try and be able to do. So that's worked out quite well. Low at the back, high at the front. Thanks for watching again. Broke a promise. One more video. Still pegged high at the front, low at the back. Just in case you haven't seen this video. So, low at the back, gently rising a little bit at the front. Still got one dog. And then I really just did this because I did put this way, angled it, pegged out just 3 corners for this. And again, I can get under, and this is still pitched low. That's on the pole. Oh, that's on 4 now. I don't know if I said what this was. Where's my peg gone? Pole there. 4. So I've now got this down to 4 and pole. So I don't know how high 4 and pole is, buried in the ground, but pretty darn low. That's the inside. And I say I've just raised the 2 ends a little bit just to give a fraction more height, and then I've swung the inner net around, and of course when I'm sitting up in it I've now got a little bit more headroom. I've got more headroom that way, so that's another way that I could put that in there. There's about 1001 options on this. I'm glad Ron doesn't charge for all these other options. Oh bugger, I've just said that. Don't do that. And now of course, in this position, if it was really horrible weather, I could put Bessa's bed at the back there, and then she'd be more protected than she was. And my head is some distance from the door, so in foul weather hopefully I would have plenty of protection there. But of course the whole the front can be lowered more anyway, and so this is just another option. I think you just pitch it to what the conditions are. Bad conditions low, good conditions high. Bad conditions stay at home, I think. Oh, I don't know. I've got no idea what I'm getting myself involved in here. Anyway, it's all good fun just practicing and playing out here anyway. Because I know my car's close, my bed's not far away either. So whatever happens, I'm enjoying this bit. And well, the rest will happen if it happens. We just enjoy it.